Right, let's do this. Time to play. Right. So we need to head into the war room. We spoke to everyone yesterday. So I need to head in. Where is it? Is it up there? Oh gosh, I don't remember. I think it's up here. War room was through here. Summon War Council. So what have we got going on? Improved stability. We have sent our soldiers to the most troubled areas. We've received numerous letters of gratitude from people in Freldon and Orlais. We are proving that trust in the Inquisition will be rewarded. Sweet. Shadows over Denerim. Inquisitor. Well, that was bracing. A pitched battle with evil mages disguised as kitchen servants, fireballs flying and swords flashing. It brings back old times. I won't be eating anything coming out of those kitchens for a while. Let me tell you. I wonder if they were going to poison me, nasty little cultists. Anyhow, I'm grateful for the Inquisition's help. We couldn't have found them without you, King Alistair. Influence and Ferelden Medallion of Service. Memorial for Haven. That sounds important. Ambassador Montiliet. Although we have not always seen eye to eye,
I have something for you, Commander. The soldiers the Herald rescued from the Fallermire arrived an hour ago.
Thank the Maker. We need good news.
Cool. Although we have not always seen eye to eye, I believe that on this subject we will be in perfect agreement. I would like to build a monument at this site where Haven stood, as a memorial to all those who gave their lives defending the faith. Shall we work together to honour these fallen heroes, Madame Ambassador? Oh. I can do fundraising for the project, and we should send a representative for the ribbon cutting. I'm sure we can get some volunteers from our ranks to help with construction. Both of those things are kind of important. Do we want construction help or fundraising and ribbon cutting? Let's help with construction.
Inquisitor.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Completed forces. I really need to look into a lot of these. The search for the hack writer. Ruffles, first off, you play a mean hand of wicked grace. Second, the lead you dug up for me on finding this Bellenforth guy in Kirkwall is starting to show some promise. I got my editor to look around for me. She's a coterie boss. so people tell her things whether they want to or not. She tracked down the poor sod carrying the manuscript out of Kirkwall. This is where it gets weird. Magistrate's courier? He has to be involved in something else. Let's find out what. I made a few favours in the Viscount's office. I could call one in.
Let's see what we have.
Right. An ally from Starkhaven. Most cordial... The Inquisition has received a missive from Starkhaven. Most cordial greetings. My name is Sebastian Vale, sole heir of the Vale Princes of Starkhaven. I recently retook the throne of this great city from those who sought to gain it through unjust means. As a most devoted adherent of the Chantry, I felt the loss of most holy Justina V keenly. I too hoped for a resolution to the terrible conflict that claimed the lives of hundreds in Kirkwall and now threatens to claim all of Thedas. I extended Starkhaven's hand in friendship to the Inquisition. Together, let us right the wrongs visited upon our world. I will send emissaries through the free marches cities have always been Though the free marches cities have always been independent, earning the support of the most prosperous ones may be to our advantage.
Inquisitor?
3 hours. She's not going to be available for the rest of the evening. There's going to be so much to do. What else have we got going on? Let's have a look in Orlais. Available, available, available. Busy, available. Wait, are these just... Cost they... Hang on, so... If, for example, I went to this one. But she's... Oh. Wait. Oh, so it's just a cost. Sister Leliana, the shards acquired by the Herald of Andraste are unlike anything I've encountered. Though ancient in origin, few have been recovered before now. The breach must have disrupted whatever ancient magic was concealing them from view. I have heard of one scroll that mentions the shards. It belonged to the Circle Tower in Markham. However, after the circles fell, the Sorrel family seized many of the valuables as compensation for donations made after their mage son was taken there. They intend to sell the scroll, along with everything else, at private auction. Josephine. The Venatori seek these shards as well. I want to know where they lead. We need access to this auction. Yes. Not now. We've got a lot to get going. What's this one? Make contact in Emerald Graves. We've been contacted by a Fairbanks, who says he has information of value to the Inquisition. He offers a trade. The information in exchange for the Inquisition's help in eliminating a dangerous rebel band, calling themselves Free Men of the Dales. There have been reported sightings of these rebels all over the Dales, where they have caused significant problems for Elysian troops. Uprooting them could be a good move for us. First, let us see what Fairbanks has to say. He is hiding out somewhere in the Emerald Graves, a legendary Dalish forest. My spies report that he is well acquainted with the area and its terrain. He could prove a useful asset if we choose to trust him. At your word, I'll send emissaries to meet with Fairbanks, along with hidden agents to watch him. Wait. I want to read it. I think I can read it by re-clicking it anyway, can't I? Lead Scout Harding made contact with Fairbanks and his men in the Emerald Graves and had a run-in with the rebels, free men of the Dales. They're as violent as we've been led to believe. As for Fairbanks, Harding was unable to coax much from him. He will only share what he knows with the Herald of Andraste, it seems. Fairbanks is holding his information close to his chest. Wonder if it might relate to something bigger than just the free men of the Dales. If there is a chance at all, then we must learn all we can from him. Harding has set up an outpost in the Emerald Graves. Be careful, Inquisitor. The Forest of the Graves is treacherous and home to enemies both new and ancient. Okay. Find the Warden. Hawke has revealed that Corypheus can influence the minds of Grey Wardens. Corypheus. Ugh. I can read, I promise. Hawke has revealed that Corypheus can influence the minds of Grey Wardens. If the Darkspawn brings them under his sway, he will command a legion of highly skilled warriors. The Inquisition must hunt down Hawke's Grey Warden ally, hiding in Crestwood, to learn about the other Warden's plans. No one has travelled to or from Crestwood since the breach, and Leliana will send her fastest agents to discover what disasters has rendered it silent. We must ensure that a trap is not awaiting us in Crestwood. I will send the scouts at your command. A hastily scrawled note received by Messenger Bird. Inquisitor, Hawke's warden friend is somewhere here. Disappeared before we could talk to him. He's good. Be careful on the road. Lots of undead. People here need our help. Explain more once you're here. Okay. Ba-ba-dum-bum. Minimum, 20. I think we'll be waiting a while for that one then. Disaster in Deep Roads is probably something we should do. The Inquisition has received an urgent request for aid from Ozumar. A subterranean earthquake has collapsed one of the Illyrian mines and endangered several others. Even worse, tunnel seals preventing Darkspawn from overrunning the Dwarven-occupied Deep Roads have crumbled, allowing hordes of the enemy to invade. Ozumar is a key provider of the Inquisition's lyrium supplies, and as such, its security is top priority. The earthquake opened a fissure in the Storm Coast Mountains, granting direct access from the surface to the threatened region underground. Constructing a mining lift at the fissure site will permit the Inquisition to transport forces directly to where Darkspawn fighting is fiercest. We need to move quickly to contain them. I'll dispatch my best pupil to Storm Coast at once. I know where to find people who can build a mining lift quickly and safely. Ozumar has the experts we need to build such a lift. At your discretion, I can hire a team of the best construction workers right away. I mean, does it matter? I mean, if they're Ozumar, that's a good thing. A construction team arrived in the Storm Coast Mountains and set up a mining lift to transport Inquisition forces from earthquake fissures opening down into the deep road. Inquisitor, the mining lift in the Storm Coast Mountains will be finished by the time you get here. Anyone going into the deep road should dress accordingly. Don't skimp on the armor and bring the best weapons in Skyhold's arsenal. I recommend packing plenty of dry rations. Most things down here will be looking to eat the Inquisition, not the other way around. There's no recommended level or anything? Okay. Right, well, we've got plenty to be getting on with now. Look at it all. Look at all this stuff. Okay. Power acquired, 1 out of 30. Yeah, okay. We'll ignore the Inquisitor's path for the moment. After the dust settled, Cole's nowhere to be found. It's hard to believe he isn't hanging somewhere in Skyhold. Look for Cole. The descent into treacherous and long-forgotten corners of the dwarven deep roads is only for the brave. You never know what might dig up. Oh, no, this one. Varric saw enough red lyrium in Kirkwall for one lifetime. Now it's everywhere, and the worst of it sings like the shard that drove his brother mad. Varric would like no small pleasure in destroying those. Locate and destroy primeval red lyrium nodes. Cassandra approves. Cool. So, where are we going? We need to go. It doesn't show. Oh. That's because we need to go outside. Nope. This way. Damn it, and people closing doors behind them. I just got tabbed out because someone logged off on Origin. Weird. Oh.
The order was sent?
Yes, Commander.
This thing is not a stray puppy you can make into a pet. It has no business being here.
Wouldn't you say the same of an apostate?
Inquisitor, I wondered if Cole was perhaps a mage, given his unusual abilities.
He can cause people to forget him, or even fail entirely to notice him. These are not the abilities of a mage. It seems that Cole is a spirit.
It is a demon.
If you prefer, although the truth is somewhat more complex.
Well, he helped us.
Cole warned us about Corypheus at Haven. He saved a lot of lives.
And what will its help cost? How many lives will this demon later claim?
In fact, his nature is not so easily defined.
Speak plainly, Solas. What are we dealing with?
Demons normally enter this world by possessing something. In their true form, they look bizarre, monstrous.
But you claim Cole looks like a young man. Is it possession?
No. He has possessed nothing and no one. And yet he appears human in all respects. Cole is unique, Inquisitor. More than that, he wishes to help. I suggest you allow him to do so.
Explain more of possession.
What do you mean by possession?
Spirits and demons cross over from the Fade by attaching themselves to something in this world. But Cole has willfully manifested in human form without possessing anyone.
And what of demons at the breach?
The demons who came through the breach, or through the rifts, weren't possessing anything.
These demons were drawn through against their will, driven mad by this world. But Cole predates the breach. From what we can tell, he has lived here for months, perhaps years. He looks like a young man. For all intents and purposes, he is a young man. It is remarkable.
Okay, well, we'll talk to him.
I should hear what Cole has to say for himself. Where is he now?
If none of us remember him, he could be anywhere.
Haven. So many soldiers fought to protect the pilgrims so they could escape. Choking fear. Can't think from the medicine, but the cuts rack me with every heartbeat. Hot, white pain. Everything burns. I can't. I'm going to... I'm dying. I'm... dead.
Are you alright?
You're feeling their pain.
It's louder this close, with so many of them.
Would you like to go somewhere more comfortable?
Yes, but here is where I can help. Every breath slower, like lying in a warm bath, sliding away. Smell of my daughter's hair when I kiss her goodnight. Gone. Cracked brown pain, dry, scraping, thirsty. Here.
Thank you.
It's all right. She won't remember me.
So, you're a friendly spirit?
You're using your powers as a spirit to help people.
Yes? I used to think I was a ghost. I didn't know. I made mistakes, but I made friends too. Then a Templar proved I wasn't real. I lost my friends. I lost everything. I learned how to be more like what I am. It made me different, but stronger. I can feel more. I can help.
Well... stay and help us, Cole.
If you're willing, the Inquisition could use your help.
Yes, helping. I help the hurt. The helpless. There's someone. Hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Someone make it stop hurting. Make her, please. The healers have done all they can. It will take him hours to die. Every moment will be agony. He wants mercy. Help.
No. No. I can't, no. Give him a chance.
You say he won't die for hours yet, but you can't know that for certain.
His body is failing.
He could recover. Or the healers could find another way to help him.
How do you know?
I don't, and neither do you. That's part of life.
Try. I want to stay.
Cole greatly approves. Nice. Seeing red. Okay. Where do we need to go for this one then, Varric? Storm Coast. So hopefully we can actually get in there then. So it'll be these ones. Can we get in that cave? That's the question. Right, let's take... Solas, Iron Ball. And Varric.
Inquisitor.
Yes. What up?
Inquisitor.
Oh,
Nothing to report, sir.
that's better. Thank you. Yeah. Splat. Ouch. Can we get in there this time? Can we still not get in there? Really? Did I not do the red lyrium one? Okay. Well, we'll have to go do something else for the moment then. Deep roads. I'll have to leave that one. Oh gosh, a lot of these require power. Oh dear. Okay, we'll do this one next then. Travel to the fissure through the war table or the entrance in the storm coast. Wait. So in that case we're gonna have to teleport here again, because I don't think...
Inquisitor.
You keep making it sound like you want to tell me something. You don't. Hi. Hey, buddy. Let's go. Come on. We can do it. Easy. There's a path right there. Okay. Good to know, I guess. Nice. Oh. Does that mean you want to talk to me about them? Or are you just saying you might have found some resources in this chest? A balanced dagger. Yes. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. assume we've got to go through a cave. Nice. Let's go.
Inquisitor, the workers are almost done building a lift to the deep roads. No darkspawn trouble yet, but the earthquakes have been brutal.
I was told to meet a Shaper Volta.
She's waiting below. You won't see an Orzammar dwarf on the surface. They have rules about that.
Tell me about the earthquake.
How many quakes have there been since you arrived?
At least 3 big rumblers. And the aftershocks are nothing to sneeze at. My feet miss solid ground.
Yeah. How are the lyrium mines?
Josephine's report mentioned several lyrium mines were damaged by the quakes.
You'll see what's left of this one on your way down. From what I hear, the other mines are barely holding together.
And no darkspawn surfaced?
So you haven't seen any darkspawn up here?
I sharpened my arrows just in case, but they never showed. I'm okay with that.
Okay, well, we better get down there.
It's hardly the time for a lyrium shortage. Orzammar's mines need all the protection they can get.
I'd offer to go with you, but someone should keep watch. Plus, I could use the sun if this storm ever clears. The lift's ready for you. Try not not to shift around, and keep back from the edge. It's a long way down.
This reminds me of a story.
Shocking.
It's about an impossibly handsome dwarf and his friend who got crowned King of the Nugs.
A Nug King. Really?
It's not as good as it sounds. Nugs mostly just shit on the floor and roll in it. Welcome to the Deep Roads.
So, the deep roads. Do you think there'll be tight spaces? Long hallways with low ceilings?
Possibly. Why?
Just hoping my horns fit.
Dwarves cannot dream, yet they devise the most fascinating inventions.
Not all ideas come from the Fade.
True, but these designs must be inspired by something.
Your names will not be forgotten.
You must be Shaper Volta.
A trust Valar, Inquisitor. The Shaper it welcomes you to the Deep Roads.
Yep. Why are you in the shadows?
You look as though you're hiding from something.
As a citizen of Orzammar, even a glimpse of your sky could cost me my position and render me castless.
Gotta love real dwarves.
So silly. Tell me about the Shaper.
What does a Shaper do exactly?
We chronicle the life and times of our people.
You're historians.
Also scholars and genealogists. Shapers preserve knowledge in the memories, an archive in Orzammar. We record memories in Lyrium to ensure they never fade. We must be meticulous in every detail.
Uh-huh. How bad are the casualties?
How many dwarves have you lost?
More than we can count. The mining caste has suffered greatly. Our situation has worsened since we contacted Skyhold. The quakes collapsed this mine and shattered a seal, keeping the Darkspawn at bay. The Legion of the Dead hasn't been able to mend the broken seal, and we can't afford to lose any more lyrium.
Right, well... Are the mines that important?
What will happen if we lose more lyrium mines?
The surface needs lyrium for all sorts of magic. The Inquisition more than most, I understand. And Orzammar's economy relies on the lyrium trade. Without it, there will be chaos above and below.
Okay, well, why call upon the Inquisition?
Orzammar deals with Darkspawn all the time. Why request the Inquisition's help?
The Legion isn't prepared for this level of disaster, and the Grey Wardens haven't answered our calls for aid. Any threat to the flow of lyrium requires immediate response. The Inquisition is the only force we can rely upon.
Okay, well, we're happy to help.
The Inquisition stands ready to aid Orzammar. Without a steady lyrium supply, things on the surface will get even worse.
Apologies for pushing you. I fear the damage that tremor caused. Follow me to the Legion camp.
Let's go then. And then
Keep your eyes open. These roads are dangerous.
we'll spin the weed seeds.
An ogre!
I hate the deep roads.
No, you don't, Varric. To break the ogre's grab, using an ability with physical effects such as stun, knockback, or knockdown. think any of them are any good. Let's have... in that case... We're not attacking.
Right now.
Like potion up, please. Oh gosh, we're gonna be running out pretty quick.
Now, while it's distracted.
Wait, why aren't I using the frost one? Oh, please don't. enjoy being alive.
Right now!
Ah.
Now, while it's distracted!
This is fine. Make sure to use the frost one. This is fine.
An ogre!
I hate the deep roads.
Strike now! Not focus on us! Now's the time to attack!
Can we not use the ice one on them either?
Now, while it's distracted! Strike now! It's not focused.
It's just magic's not very good for
Now's the
these
time to
guys, is
attack.
it?
Now, while it's distracted!
He'd save the day, Bun Bun. Let's try.
It's not focused on us! Now's the time to attack!
blend them together.
Now, while it's distracted.
Oh. Hang on. No. Kill.
Paul is in danger!
It's not focused on us. Now's the time to attack. Strike now.
Drink a potion.
Now, while it's distracted.
Like,
It's not focused on us. Now's the time to attack.
that's annoying. Right.
Strike now.
Bumbungo. Don't really matter, let's just get this finished with.
Strike! Now! You have my gratitude.
Oh. That was painful, but it worked out.
If the ogre reached this point, the Legion must be overwhelmed. Let us hurry.
I missed the conversation point there. Ooh.
I will never get used to the stench of Darkspawn. They corrupt everything, even the air. That's the broken seal ahead. It is worse than I thought.
Get those charges to the tunnels! Someone prime the sonic fuses!
We can't
Do
lose
with a
this
supply
position.
cache,
Hurry!
really. Come on.
Can't set the charges with those bastards breathing down our necks!
Clear out the Darkspawn!
Ah. He's stuck there. This is fine. We could do with a supply thing. Thanks, Solas, for the protection.
We can't lose this position! Hurry!
Can't set the charges with those bastards breathing down our necks!
Clear out the Darkspawn!
help that there's no supplies anywhere. Okay. Looks like it'll be solacing again. What's this bar here? What are these 3 bars? Oh. From this ridge, exposed sections of the deep roads are now visible below. Its history and the rock split by these quakes and those without sure footing particularly dangerous for. No. Definitely didn't expect that. I'm used to these games having like protection stop you from falling in places. Right, it looks like we'll just have to solus it up again. Why are we so... Oh, is it because I fell? Damn it.
We can't lose this position.
Okay.
Hurry!
Can't set the charges with those bastards breathing down our necks!
Clear out the dark spawn!
That's... Where are our friends? Oh, they're really spread out now. potions. There's supplies up here as well. I don't know how to continue without potions. Can we leave and come back later? Is that something we can do? Like, can you leave partway through? I'm not sure how it works. We're gonna have to, though. That one requires power. Should we go close some rifts? That one requires power. Oh yeah, these are all the... Oh, that one requires power as well. So... let's head to Skyhold. So we're full on potions now, and we should all be healed up. And then can we just go back? Yeah, it looks like the... So let's think about this. We need to take... Do we want people that can just be there to fight? Or do we want mages? Let's try taking our warriors. Although having Solas is very useful. Let's remove you. Can't we... It's very annoying that you can't just... click there to remove people. Okay, let's try that. So it does just spawn us down here again. Please don't give us the ogre again. Shouldn't, right? Oh good, so we can just leave and come back when we need to. Is this length through the mission? I don't know. Mission request. Okay, so we've seen all this. We don't need to see this again. Thank you, Solas. Perfect. Right. So let's...
We can't lose this position! Hurry!
How do I think was capable of locking onto the right enemy?
Bastards breathing down our necks!
Solas, can't you... Solas, please. Please, potion. Dead. Ugh. I was like, that might be going a little bit better, but then it wasn't. And then, I don't know. Try Solas it up again, I guess. Solas.
We can't lose this position! Hurry!
Can't set the charges with those bastards breathing down our necks!
Clear out the dark spawn!
Can we lock onto the right people, please? Seriously? Where is everyone? Actually know where anyone is. So pretty much everyone's here. Everyone's dying again. Really? Wow. Oh. I forgot about this. Can we... Please. Please. Okay, well... Regeneration version. How often can we use this? Still not use that one? Okay. Oh. Regenerate. He's gonna want to back me. Please don't touch me. Let me just heal my friend. Yeah? How's that sound to you? Thank you. Perfect. Don't know if the game was bugging then or what, but I'll take it. Also, we can take camp here, which would be good. Why is he still stuck here? Sweet.
charges!
Now, set the charges!
We did it! We did it! We did it! We did it! Yeah! Supplies replenished. Sweet.
Inquisitor, meet Lieutenant Wren, a veteran of the 5th Flight and one of the Legion's finest commanders.
Someone paid her to say that.
Appreciate the help, Inquisitor. Collapsing that seal bought us time. Blighters had the run of these tunnels for days. Now they have a roadblock.
Tell me about the deep roads.
How many deep roads are there? How deep do they go?
They'll take you from one side of Thetis to the other, if you have a death wish.
The roads once connected dwarven cities that were hundreds of miles apart. Then came the Darkspawn. Ren and I have been exploring this region, reclaiming it, but the work is slow.
Mark the map, fight an army. Mark the map, fall in a hole. And so on.
Okay. Have you worked together long?
I get the impression you two have known each other a while.
Yeah. The Shaper had sent her to dig up some relics. Asked me to keep her out of trouble. That was 3 years ago.
You can quit any time.
Not when we still have things to fight about.
I'm glad to help the Legion.
The Legion of the Dead has the Inquisition's full support.
That's the best news I've heard since the Quakes began. Actually, the only good news.
Take cover!
Oh dear. He's been squished or something, isn't he? We'll see.
You heard that, yes? The rhythm in the tremors? It's clearer, stronger, more insistent.
I hear it. Doesn't prove a thing.
These quakes are not a natural disaster. They're deliberate. There's an intelligence behind them.
No, that doesn't seem surprising. They're definitely powerful.
If something is causing them, the strength required would be incredible. What could do that?
Here we go.
I found an ancient text during an expedition with Ren last year. At the time, it was just a curiosity, but now? The text describes giant creatures, called Titans, living deep underground. They sing in the stone, shaping it. When these quakes began, I believe we heard that rhythm. I believe a Titan is causing all this destruction.
The strange singing's never good. There are Titans? This is new.
I've never heard of Titans before. What else can you tell me about them?
The text I found predated the First Blight. Its pages had mostly rotted away. And there's no mention of the Titans in Orzamar's memories.
Which tells you something.
Sure. What do you mean by the stone?
You speak of the stone like it's more than walls.
The stone is eternal. She was here before us, and remains after we die.
But the stone isn't your god.
We don't worship her, but we do respect and honor her.
The stone makes us strong, and we return that strength to her when we die. It's difficult to express in words.
I don't hear a rhythm.
All I heard was an earthquake. How is it you and Ren hear a rhythm?
Our people have a strong connection to the stone. We feel it in a way topsiders cannot.
Shapers have great stone sense, and Volta's better than most. She never gets lost.
Well, strange singing is never good.
Mysterious songs often lure people to their deaths. Or to an archdemon.
This rhythm isn't a song, exactly. It sounds like air flowing through lungs.
Air that can collapse a whole mine.
A mystery worth investigating.
Indeed. Well, you may be onto something.
In my experience, no explanation is too strange to consider.
For all we know, that text you found was a bedtime story. We can't be sure until we find the source.
The rhythm I sense in the quakes is emanating from somewhere far below. The stone will lead us there.
And if it comes to a fight, that'll be our job. There's a lift at the side passage nearby. Ready when you are.
Deep Road's expedition table. The expedition table to complete unique Inquisition operations called expeditions found in this area of the Deep Road. Expeditions do not appear on the war table in Skyhold. Let's have a look, shall we? Deep Roads or the Uncharted Abyss. Okay, that's great. Great. That's very helpful. Alright, well. Have Hawks Warden allying. Oh. Take lifts into the Deep Road. Do we gotta do that now? You're all gonna follow me.
I've been meaning to ask, Inquisitor. Skyhold, how does it... well... hold in the sky? How do you keep it from floating away?
It's built into a mountain.
Held by the stone, then.
Yeah. Do you fight in the Blight?
Shaper Volta said you're a veteran of the Blight.
I was a wet-nosed recruit.
But you survived.
Swing your axe long enough, you're bound to hit something.
You must have racked up a few stories.
Maybe when this is all over, I'll have the time and ale to tell them.
Most of Ren's stories end with decapitation.
I'm an efficient guy.
There you go. Let's discuss the Legion.
I'd like to know more about the Legion of the Dead.
The Legion's pretty straightforward. We keep the Darkspawn out of Orzammar, and we're sodding good at it. Becoming a Legionnaire is a lifelong oath, one that can't be broken. We celebrate our own funerals before coming to the Deep Roads. As far as our families in Orzammar are concerned, we're already dead. Hence the name.
You can't return to Orzammar?
That's quite the commitment.
It isn't a glamorous life. Every Legionnaire has their own reasons for joining. From the common criminal to the Deep Lord with illusions of grandeur. All are accepted.
What about you? Why did you join?
I had a responsibility.
Okay. You seem close to Volta.
A historian and a soldier. That's an unlikely friendship.
What makes you think we're friends?
The bickering.
Fair enough. Volta's got the stones of a silent sister. Doesn't mean I won't give her a hard time.
We'll talk later then. We'll talk later then.
Thanks for your time.
Try pressing it twice. Volta.
The Inquisition is on everyone's lips. Even the Assembly has taken an interest. In his younger years, King Harrowmont would have greeted you personally, but he is too old now for such a journey.
How do you become a Shaper?
How does one become a Shaper of memories?
I was born with a keen stone sense. It caught the Shaper's attention, but my passion for history earned me the title. It was never really a choice.
How do you know Titans exist?
You seem quite excited by the idea that these Titans may exist.
My connection to the stone allows me to hear it, but I can only listen. Titans can sing through the stone. It is extraordinary. We call ourselves children of the stone. What does that make the Titans?
Alright, well let's talk about Orzammar.
What's life like in Orzammar?
I haven't lived in Orzammar for 3 years, but I receive updates. Is there anything in particular you'd like to know?
Do you miss it?
Do you miss living there?
I do sometimes. Particularly the easy access to a warm bath and clean clothes. But the importance of my work outweighs the comforts of the city.
Well, Dwarven's politics interest me.
How's the political climate in Orzammar?
There have been riots due to food shortages, but they will pass, I hope. I've no doubt some Deshers will try to use the situation for their own gain. But the king has a good hold over the Assembly.
Good. Deshers?
What are Deshers?
Members of the Assembly, all noble born. Through the Assembly, they govern Orzammar. The king presides over them.
Why are castes so important?
A dwarf's caste seems to dictate their entire life in Orzammar.
I could bore you for hours about our society's castes and the tensions that go along with them. Simply put, citizens of Orzammar are born into a caste, and that is their lot in life. A member of the Smith caste can never join the warrior caste, and vice versa. Everything is predetermined.
So you can't change castes?
There's no way for someone to change castes.
It is possible for a member of the lower caste to marry above their station, but only their children's caste will improve. Similarly, when dwarves are made casteless, so are their descendants.
Wow. Okay. Why are castes so important?
A dwarf's caste seems to dictate their entire life in Orzammar.
I could bore you for hours about our society's castes and the tensions that go along with them. A member of the Smith caste can never join the warrior caste, and vice versa. Everything.
Let's discuss something else.
That's enough about Orzammar.
Of course.
That's all for now.
Thanks for the insight, Shaper.
My pleasure, Inquisitor.
We'll speak another time.
Indeed. So we've got to go out here.
Clean it right.
Okay. Save game.
We don't run into an emissary.
Oh. Now we definitely will.
I take it emissaries are bad.
Most Darkspawn are mindless killing machines, connected by the Blight. But emissaries are intelligent and use magic.
There you go then. Sweet. Let's go.
Shrieks. It had to be shrieks.
I thought you'd be used to all kinds of darkspawn.
Well, everyone's got their favorites.
I'm partial to ogres. Great racks.
Hello?
Back me up!
Hello? It would help if, like, he would shoot where he's supposed to. Can we still not? Hang on.
Falling back! You're not giving up this fight! I'm not backing!
I think we need to level up a bit more before we come here. Can we use the map and just teleport away? Into the approach. So we can't do that one. Iron survey, so we need more serpent stone. Tell you what. Oh, we can't do it up top. Very quiet. Can we teleport away now? Okay. So I want to go here. Still don't think we'll be able to get in there. Let's go back to what's it called first? Skyhold. Go into that war room. His name is Cole. He's not that old, perhaps 20 years no more.
Someone emptied a whole bag of turnips into the fire. Ah, making the smell is everywhere. I was going to use them for dinner and then...
A bag of turnips put into the fire. Why? I still can't imagine like being a writer and being like, we're going to make someone say that someone put turnips in the fire. Because, yes. Available. Report. A memorial for Haven. Ambassador Montillier. Please convey my thanks to the Inquisitor. The Inquisition soldiers were of great help in clearing the area for the memorial's construction, and the sight of their uniforms raised spirits immeasurably. The monument will stand forever as a testament to the strength and fortitude of the faithful. Edgy dagger grip. That's what we get. Okay. Nightingale. Camring is dead, fully armoured, locked in an inner room in his home, a knife in his back. He knew someone was coming for him. Ironically, the scene was exactly the same as the one in the first Hard in Hightown novel. Someone sent a professional after his magistrate. They had to leave a trail.
We cannot neglect our soldiers' training.
Can we neglect roads? Our allies cannot take the same route through the mountains we did.
Could we have... Can we do a different one at the moment? Crestwood resources. The Crestwood region is known as the source of the herb embryum as well as the stone known as obsidian. Now that the Inquisition has a camp established, forces can be sent out in search of deposits of these resources for transport back to Skyhold. I do need onyx. What about The Alamari ruins found in the mountain pastures outside Haven have finally... Wait, no, Storm Coast. Hang on. Gain Ozma's friendship. Huh. Specialization for the Inquisitor. I can ensure instruction for the legions who want to join, but can we expect the Inquisitor to remain a leader while training with a subordinate? He is a figure of inspiration and should rightly be one of the aspiration. Promoting a specialist from within the ranks seems lacking. With due respect to our people, the needs of the Herald are so specific. I recommend looking outside for the best combat specialist to be found, regardless of their affiliation. He is right. I'll ensure the best training, no questions asked.
Let's see what we have.
Specializations for the Inquisitor. The best of the best have been summoned. Training with these specialists will ensure the Inquisitor's abilities remain at their height. Thanks. Okay. Dorian's request. Now that you're in charge, there's something I thought I'd bring up. There are Venatori mages out there, lurking in the wilderness. This comes as no surprise for you, since you can't swing a dead cat without hitting one of Corypheus's minions. But these particular Venatori have additional significance to myself. For one, I know them personally. I would call them friends, except that would imply I didn't want them dead, which I do. Since I have an idea of where they might be, thanks to an investigation I began before coming south, I thought we could put our heads together and track them down. We're former Templars skilled at hunting mages. I can send them to follow Dorian's leads. Let us look into this carefully and quietly. We do not wish to alert the Venatori to our awareness of their existence. Yeah.
Let's see what we have.
Thanks, Leliana. Completed, available, completed, available. Fiona, we got the word out to everyone we could, but some cells were too remote to reach. We'll need the Inquisition to contact them, at least to let them know the Templars are gone. They are gone, right? Right? I can send a few agents with a mage from Redcliffe. They're likely afraid to come out of hiding. I can send a few non-Templar soldiers to protect the mages on their way here. Go. All right. Completed, in progress, completed, busy, completed, completed, busy. Okay. Oh. Okay. So, I want to so we can't do that. Serpent Stone, Iron Seven on the coast, Storm Coast. Let's see if we can get these serpent stones. We'll go from here. It doesn't really matter who I take for this one. I'll take Varric. I'll take... Sure, we'll take Cole. Take Solas. I'm not going to be fighting anyway. Nothing important anyway. The Dalish elves, in time, the human empires will crumble. That too much text just for the loading screen. Right, friends, we're here to look for stuff. That's just all that. I've already used that thing, haven't I? It's shining brightly probably means yes. Oh, there's 4 shards here, okay. That's a no then. Serpent stone. One more. Let's do the requisition now. Two more shards. We'll do that while we're here as well. Yeah, let's teleport here.
Inquisitor.
Pretty sure we climbed up this bit before, so come on. There was a path here. What am I doing? We learned this last time. Come on. Is it up there? No. There it is. Driftwood margin. Right. So we just need to fill in that requisition now, which is good. Judge the prisoner. Ah, yeah. Okay. Just gotta wait. We're gonna have to go back to the hinterlands again, aren't we? And then we'll do a few riffs. Yeah, we'll do a lot of the hinterland stuff, I think. So let's go back. No, let's go to the hinterlands. We will, let's say, do that one. So if we go here, then we can fill the requisition from here as well, I believe.
Inquisitor.
So Dwarven Academics, +1 power. Cool. 1 Deep Stalker hide. 5 onyx. How much onyx do I need now? Just 1? No, still 5. Did you have something important, or you just say my name?
Nothing to report, sir.
Just say my name. Okay. Let's try and... oh, actually... hang on. Where's the... I'm gonna bring some fighters with me. So we'll take Blackwall, we'll take Solas, we'll take Ironball. And Horsey. The fake horse. The horse with the horns. A horse with the antlers. They're antlers, not horns. I know what I'm doing. So this way, yes. Yeah, I'd moan as well if my person made me jump off a cliff like that. Hopefully the pig will just stop. Please.
Someone help!
Oh, hi. Potions. Potions! Use potions, friend. Use ice on him. Glad I saved before I came here. Really should just load a thing.
Push ahead. I doubt that was the last of them.
Right, let's try again. Regeneration potions. And one of them straight away. You. Come on. rift to close. More onyx. Nice. F5. So, even more onyx. A letter found on a corpse. If you find this, the bleeding didn't stop. My family lives at Redcliffe Farms. Maker bless you. If you could find my last words to them. If you could take my last words to them. I didn't run. I didn't abandon them. I thought I could get enough to help. Fool that I was. All got was my guts torn out. Yeah. That's gonna suck. Okay. There's nothing else here. Nope. Oh, friends, you did wait for me. Okay. Oh yeah, the flowers. Okay. We'll do that next. That one that's just ahead? Yep. Senna, beloved, may your ashes be gathered by Falundin and carried safely, after all the long years you carried me. Turn to the widower, okay. Oh, that's that one, okay. Red lyrium. Okay, so we're going to do this rift. Oh. Stop. Move. F5. Okay. F5 again. Let's go. We can do this. More of you. Also, I didn't. I should have gone back to Reese as well. get to a point where we have two of them? Yeah. Wait. No. No. Perfect. Shadow Essence. Intense Spirit and Toy Soldier. Bun Bun, level 11. Oh, hi. Bear, can't you work with us? You died? Oh no. This ain't fair. Don't say it didn't say that either. That would be painful. Nice. Bear hide. Save. What else have we got going on? Wait. What's going on up here then? Map of Farmland Cave. Huh. What is that line? I still want to know. What's that about? Okay. Ah, there's so much on this map, so much to do. I actually want to do the riffs. So that one, I guess. Can we rest up? Will that give us... No. Have we got a stock of stuff here anywhere? Don't know if you do at the camps. Oh, we've got 2 tents here. Right. So we need to go this way. So to our left, yes. Let's go. Saving. One more? Yeah. Get off. Oh, this should be a bit of an easier one if we've only got... enemies, really? Are you all gonna disappear and leave me to fight the actual enemies here? How rude was that? This is clearly a rift we should have done ages ago. Locked onto it. That was weird, but alright, I'll take it. Is that an XP bar? That's what it is, isn't it? Rifts on the farm. Go do that. The farm's up here. Okay. Really weird position in this one.
Yeah, you talk about Grey Warden, honor and sacrifice and griffin, but you're still not convinced.
Not convinced?
Yes, you know what I mean.
And you know this because?
I'm a people person.
I'm a people person.
Okay. Find prostate caches. Find the spot marked on the map. We can do that one. Oh, that's easy. That's not even too far away. Nope, back. Yes. What else have we got? Turn to the Widower. We can do that. Up here. We can teleport to there. Yeah. I should say travel, not teleport.
We'll need to look around.
Sorry.
Are you mad?
I do not suppose you found my Senna's shrine.
The mages are all
I know
busy
it is a long
helping
way
me.
to
Look
go.
around you.
I did as you asked.
I cleaned Senna's shrine and placed the flowers. May her ashes be gathered by Falondine and carried safely.
After all the long years she carried me, thank you. You do a foolish old man too much kindness. Maceranus, Darlen, take this as my gratitude. Senna would have wanted you to have it.
Sweet. Hinterlands again. What else have we got? Tanner. Key to the cabin.
Okay.
Oh, it's a bit further away. This way.
You heard about Haven? It's destroyed, completely gone.
Yep, that's true. It's completely gone.
Oh. I see.
Tanner,
What do you want?
you could do better with us.
What kind of cut are you getting from the gross? What kind of protection are your suppliers offering? The Inquisition could use someone who can move goods around quietly. And we could protect you.
Are you serious? The High and Mighty Inquisition needs smugglers. All right, I'm in. Seems like the Inquisition is the safer bet these days.
What else have we got? Find a key to the cabin. Let's do that one next. Where is said cabin? down there. Okay. Traveling.
Nothing to report, sir.
Hey again. Wait. Has to be up there somewhere, right? Grandma's cabin key. Or a letter. Brother, I fled the circle, but I want no part of the mad rebellion. The Templars of my brethren have both gone mad. The war has torn apart the very sky. Some of the other isolationists suggested fleeing, and I shall follow their example. It has been too long since I saw you, and it cannot be safe in Haven. If you can make it past the bandits and demons, join me at grandmother's old home northwest of the crossroads. With your blade and my staff, we can get through this together. Sweet. There.
Inquisitor.
So we're going... We want to go here, really. And I'm not following the way I said I'd go. Amulet of Magic. Liliana's ready to report in. We should always check out those reports before we finish. Bring Philanderus to the tree on the hill. That's easily done. Hopefully.
Nothing to report, sir.
Sorry to scare you guys. Is that tree there above our head? Hi. No, 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 no. Statue of Mithrath grieving after the death of his wife, the prophet Andraste, whom he betrayed out of jealousy. Anything else? I think we're just going to go back to the hinterlands now. No, not the hinterlands, to our war room. And then we'll probably finish there for today. The head of Madame Snappy Snips.
Word is the courts in Royale are full to bursting.
Distractions everywhere. No one has time.
I've got to go do that thing as well. We can do that tomorrow. Undiscovered. Ferelden. Commander, a lot of mages just showed up. I hope they're friendlies, because if they're not, we're in trouble. Thanks. Dorian's leads were effective. The Inquisition found several locations where these Ventori could be hiding. Vance camp's purpose unknown. If you wish to deal with these mages, I'm certain Dorian would be pleased. I'll mark the locations on your map should you pass by any of your travels. Okay. Nah. Not yet. 28 minutes left on that one.
Are you all right, Leliana?
The magistrate attempt to implicate
I suppose
why and in what?
Haven
If the
was
assassin killed the magistrate, a
trying.
word to the crows might tell us who it was. They watch rivals carefully.
Let's see what we have.
Progress, progress. Answer a request from Hasmol. Commander Cullen, I understand the Inquisition is working with Redcliffe's mages. I'm surprised someone from Kirkwall would condone any arrangement with them, but it does put you in a position to aid us. Hasmol's circle sustained significant damage during the uprisings. Rather than follow the Lord Seeker, many of our Templars elected to remain and deal with the aftermath. But our resources are limited. Furthermore, we have loyalist mage a lot with us. Hasmol's people would happily throw them to the wolves, even though they had nothing to do with the rebellion. As it stands, I feel we may fail in our duty to protect them. I trust you sympathize with our predicament. I humbly request your charges be transferred to the Inquisition. We have a few Templars of our own. Hasmol's Templars will be comfortable working with them. We can ensure safe passage for the mages.
To work?
Right. That's going to be it for this evening. We'll be back with more tomorrow. So we'll be back then.